All right, so we should be live here. That might be some noise in the background. Uh, the kiddo is making himself some coffee, and he's gonna have to walk through here. I try to avoid situations where people are gonna be walking through the living room when I'm streaming, but can't do it all the time. Um, so today the whole goal is really to do some bootleg matches and to unveil the 6 cards that are going to be in the bootleg set that I will have for sale. Um, Probably starting later today or tomorrow, depending on my time availability today to type up a sale post and all that kind of crap. So, yeah, I didn't really go into this with a solid plan as to what bootleg matches I wanted to do. So, I'm kind of just gonna randomly pick here, or just open it up and try to find a card that looks interesting. I do want to do a midget match using Sam Lutek's midget charts at some point today, but I don't know if I want to start with a midget match. Yeah, screw it. Let's start with a midget match. We're going to do Fuzzy Cupid. And where is that it? We'll do Fuzzy Cupid and Little Tokyo. Now let's move the bootleg binders off the table. Fantastic. We got Fuzzy Cupid in the red corner and Little Tokyo in the blue corner. Here are the die. Let's get this all set up. We'll read them out here in a sec. Alright. So, on his way to the ring, standing 4 feet and weighing in at 86 pounds from Newport, Rhode Island, here is Fuzzy Cupid. And his opponent, also standing 4 feet tall, weighing in at 98 pounds, from Tokyo, Japan, Little Tokyo. And here we go. Let's flip him over. Flip him over. And Tokyo is a 7-4. Cupid is a 6-3. There we go. Stick those there. And let's roll for some initiative. Probably after the second or third match, I will do the bootleg reveals. So, if you're watching, the video on demand, you can always skip ahead, but then you'll miss the matches. What kind of lame person would you be then? And it looks like Fuzzy Cupid has this one off the lockup. And I'm already dropping dice. Ugh. I am too fat to bend over to pick that up. Alrighty then. So Fuzzy Cupid starts us out with a punch to the ribs, and that is a choice maneuver. I don't think that the midgets have their own special choice chart. They do not. So let's go ahead and get the regular choice situations chart. Here we go. Choice A. So that's going to be an into the ropes or a test of strength that's going to work on 7 or lower plus or minus the power. And the power is +1. So 8 or lower or into the ropes, which is an A. So we're going to go for the 8 or lower. And he gets it. And Little Tokyo rolling on level 2 defense. And Little Tokyo wins the test of strength and takes control of the match. And now Little Tokyo, with a step on the face of Fuzzy Cupid. So that is not a very nice move. Stepping right on the face of Fuzzy Cupid. And Fuzzy Cupid is dazed. And Little Tokyo hoists him up with a back body drop. This is a choice B maneuver. So we're going to have a move that's going to work on, looks like 7 or lower plus or minus agility, or into the turnbuckle. The turnbuckle's a B. The agility's a -3, so it looks like we are throwing him into the turnbuckle. So Little Tokyo whips Fuzzy Cupid into the buckle, and that is a 5B. I believe they do have their own into the turnbuckle chart. 5B. You throw the opponent into the turnbuckle, then grab them by their ankles and give them a flying helicopter spin. Round and round you go. Finally you drop them and move in for the kill. Roll on level 3 offense. I think Sam did these charts in reverse, so that is actually for Little Tokyo to roll on level 3 offense, not Fuzzy Cupid. But yeah, it's kind of weirdly set up since it's opposite from the normal charts. Okay, so Little Tokyo rolling on level 3 offense here. And Little Tokyo throws him out of the ring. He's got an A ring rating. And that's going to be an A7. And the midgets do have their own out of the ring chart. And A7. You throw your opponent from the ring, then leap from the ropes, hitting them with a perfect crossbody block. You throw your opponent back into the ring and continue your assault. Roll on level 2 offense. So Little Tokyo on level 2 here. And Tokyo. Oop, I think I bumped that one because it was a 1 before, and when I re-rolled it, it came up a 1 again. Little Tokyo with an eye rake. This is an agility maneuver. He does not have the agility, so Fuzzy Cupid taking over on level 2. And Fuzzy Cupid with a small package, and this is a choice C maneuver, so Fuzzy Cupid can't get away from these choice maneuvers. This is going to be a move that is going to work on 6 or lower, plus or minus agility. That isn't going to be a good one. Or a level 2 move. That is going to work on 6 or lower, plus or minus power. So I think that's what we're going to do. So 7 or lower. And he gets it. So Fuzzy Cupid rolling on level 2. Or I mean, Little Tokyo rolling on level 2. And Little Tokyo counters the move and is rolling on level 1. And Little Tokyo with a hair pull takedown on Fuzzy Cupid. And Fuzzy Cupid is dazed. And now Little Tokyo with a duck behind the ref and sucker kick. Ugh, still coughing. Stuff lasts forever for me. Anyway, duck behind the ref and sucker kick on Fuzzy Cupid. And Fuzzy Cupid is hurt by that kick from Little Tokyo. And Little Tokyo gonna step on his face while he's trying to get back up. Again, not very nice. And that's gonna hurt Fuzzy Cupid. And here we have a butt slam by Little Tokyo on Fuzzy Cupid. And this one is going to be countered. So Fuzzy Cupid moves out of the way. Little Tokyo slams his butt to the mat and is in considerable pain here as Fuzzy Cupid takes over on level 2 offense. And now Fuzzy Cupid with a hammerlock. This is a power maneuver, and he does have the power advantage here. So that is going to work. And that is going to put Little Tokyo down. He rode that hammerlock all the way to the ground, and Tokyo is down. Fuzzy Cupid rolling on level 3 with a shoulder charge and tackle slam. And that is going to hurt Little Tokyo as Fuzzy Cupid rolls back up on level 2 offense here. And he's got a toe hold and toe bite. So he's biting the toes of Little Tokyo. And now, that is going to hurt Little Tokyo. And he is complaining to the referee about the biting, as one would if they were having their toes bitten. And now Fuzzy Cupid scoops him up and grabs him in a bear hug. And Little Tokyo gonna clap the ears of Fuzzy Cupid and counter that move and roll on level 1 offense. And now Fuzzy Cupid Thrown up with a big back body drop by Little Tokyo. And this is a choice B maneuver. So let's see what we got here. It's going to be a level 2 move. 7 plus or minus agility or into the turnbuckle. I think we're going to roll into the turnbuckle here since the agility is -3 and his turnbuckle is a B. So that's going to be a B8 on the midget turnbuckle chart. B8. You throw the opponent into the turnbuckle where they flip upside down. You follow in to smash them, but they grab your ankles. Just as they grab your legs, you both create a wheel and roll over and over again. Finally, the opponent lets go and whips you into the corner. Opponent rolls on this chart. So if I believe right, that would be... See, yeah, this is just a weird thing. So it seems like it uses you throw them into the corner, which would be Little Tokyo throwing them, but then the opponent should roll on this chart, which means... Alright, so I think what it means is that the opponent whips you into the corner and then you roll into the chart is what the text makes it sound like. The chart is not the most the most well worded. Like it can be a little bit confusing. But for the sake of the match, I'm having Fuzzy Cupid throw Little Tokyo into the corner. And here we go. And that is a B10. And so that is, you whip the opponent into the turnbuckle, then go in for a turnbuckle squash. However, the opponent quickly baseball slides between both your legs and the referees. They hide behind the ref as you futilely look at them. They leap behind the ref to smack you from behind. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So I believe that this would be Little Tokyo rolling on level 3 offense. And that's going to be chops to the chest by Little Tokyo. And that's going to hurt Fuzzy Cupid. And Little Tokyo and Fuzzy Cupid go at it some more here. And we've got karate chops to the back of the neck by Little Tokyo. And that's going to hurt Fuzzy Cupid. Can't keep him down, but is connecting with a lot of karate here. And with a butt slam on Fuzzy Cupid. And no, Fuzzy Cupid rolls out of the way once again. Little Tokyo once again slams his butt hard into the mat and is in pain. Fuzzy Cupid, can he capitalize here? And Fuzzy Cupid grabs him up with a bear hug. And that's going to hurt Little Tokyo. And once again, he keeps him in that bear hug, squeezing the breath out of Little Tokyo. And Little Tokyo once again hurt. And now he transitions from the bear hug, grabs a hammer lock, which is going to work as a power maneuver, as Fuzzy Cupid does have the power. And that is going to hurt Little Tokyo some more. Hi, Jeff Stafford. Welcome. We're having our first match. It's a midgets match. Between Fuzzy Cupid and Little Tokyo. Little Tokyo just hurt Fuzzy Cupid just hurt Little Tokyo with a hammerlock. And he is rolling on level 2 offense here with a merry-go-round on Little Tokyo. And that is going to put Little Tokyo down. Little Tokyo is going to roll out of the ring here. And this is a B6 on the midget out of the ring chart. And here we go, B6. You throw your opponent from the ring, then leap from the ropes, hitting them with a perfect crossbody block. You throw your opponent back into the ring and roll on level 2 offense. So I guess that would be Fuzzy Cupid with a crossbody block on Little Tokyo. And he's rolling on level 2 offense. And now another merry-go-round by Fuzzy Cupid on Little Tokyo. And once again, this is going to put Little Tokyo down. Little Tokyo not going to roll out of the ring this time. And Fuzzy Cupid going to climb the ropes and go for the death jump. Tokyo has a B death jump. And that's going to be a B4 on the midget death jump. So here we go, B4 on the midget death jump chart. It looks like my OBS just disconnected and reconnected. As the opponent climbs the turnbuckle, you grab him, and he falls to the mat. You drop a quick elbow, followed by a leg drop. Then you quickly climb the ropes and go for a leap. Opponent rolls on this chart. So that would be Fuzzy Cupid rolling on the death jump chart. He's got an A. So we've got an A6. And that's the same thing. So these two trading spots on the top rope as Little Tokyo with a B. And that's going to be a B7. And that's the Midget Antics chart. So we're rolling on the Midget Antics singles chart. And Little Tokyo going to do the roll here. All right, so that is a roll of 5. You and the opponent tangle up into the ropes. The referee tries to separate you, but you won't separate. Finally, the ref lifts you up and tosses you behind him to release the opponent. In your anger, you grab the ref's shirt and pull it over his head. As the ref struggles to get free, you low blow the opponent. The ref finally gets his shirt fixed and may disqualify you. Roll your DQ. If not DQ'd, roll on level 3 offense. So Little Tokyo pulls a shirt over the ref's head, low blows Fuzzy Cupid. He's got to roll his DQ, which is 6. And that does it. Little Tokyo is disqualified for pulling the referee's shirt over his head. And your winner is Fuzzy Cupid. And we've got a bunch of new people here. We've got Mark Ferguson, Thomas Morgan, and Alex Vidales joining us in the chat. Welcome. That was our first match, which saw Fuzzy Cupid winning against Little Tokyo. I think Fuzzy Cupid was the midget world champ at one point. He's one of the older midgets. Not that any of the midgets are particularly, or that Sam included, are particularly modern, except for the two that he did specifically for modern stuff. Everybody's hating on the referee. The ref is a chump, guys. All right, so I will put those away afterwards. So now that we have people, I would have thought this match would have been shorter. All right, punny. So we've got people here now, so we can do fans' choice matches. I've got quite a few bootlegs. So if you would like to request a match, let me know. If I've got the cards, I will do the match. So, you know, just kind of throw stuff out there, and we'll see what sticks. And I will grab up my bootleg binders. This is the mostly empty one, and this is the fuller of the two. That's not Sam's new set, that's Sam's old set. I actually don't have a printed Isaac. I didn't like the art I did for it, so I didn't print it. My art is, I am not an art guy. He's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. I color fine. No, can't draw to save my life though. Let's see here. So we can. I guess these are not showing up on the thingy because I have them too far down. So this is we can flip through here. They have Sailor Art Thomas. We can do that. I have Art Thomas. He's going to be in the other binder, actually. I have many of these binders. Art Thomas, going to be after Sam's bootleg, or after Sam's midgets. And Babe Ruth. Those guys. There's Sailor Art Thomas. I don't have Ivan Putski, so we can't do Ivan Putski. How about we do Sailor Art versus Johnny Powers? Because Johnny Powers was right there. So we're going to do Sailor Art Thomas from Sam Looptech Jr.'s excellent first bootleg set against Johnny Powers, which is actually from the Maple Leaf Wrestling set, but I went ahead and colored him, so he's got a different card. Alrighty then. So, on his way to the ring, standing 6 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 265 pounds, from Pittsburgh, Wisconsin, here is Sailor Art Thomas. And his opponent, on the way to the ring, weighing in at 265 pounds and standing 6 feet 4 inches tall, from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, here is Johnny Powers. And Powers and Art Thomas. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that new set from Sam, too. I keep checking my mailbox, hoping it showed up, because he said that it should be shipped out soon. But I haven't seen it. I mean, I've ordered stuff from Sam before and never had any problem. I know he's had some issues with family stuff and personal things, and then print issues and stuff. So I'm not hounding him. I'm not worried about it. I know I'll get it. So. Oh, you got the second set already, Jeff. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good to know that they're in the mail. But yeah, I haven't got the second one yet. Maybe today, hopefully. I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to put Black Sam to use. If you're not familiar with Black Sam, there is, if you Google Vero Small, which is his actual name, or even just Black Sam documentary, there's a great 20-minute independent documentary about him that just kind of covers the basic stuff. And he's a really interesting guy. So I'm really looking forward to that card. Anyway, let's get to it. After this, we will... Oh, no, you have both coming. Okay. I thought you meant you had received them both yet. Yeah, because I've had the first one for quite a while. I just haven't had the I don't have the second one yet. All right, so Art Thomas is a 4-1. Wow, he's a strong one, huh? And Johnny Powers is a 5-2. And we are going to go for... Yeah, I have so many cards I haven't played with. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. And aside from these bootleg brawls and, testing for my other bootleg set, I'm doing everything chronologically, and I'm only in, the 1930s, so there's quite a few guys who haven't even debuted yet in my universe. So here we go. We've got Johnny Powers taking the match on the lockup. So he'll be starting us off on level 1 offense here. And Johnny Powers with a twisting knuckle lock. This is a power move, and he does not have the power. So Art Thomas, I'm going to counter that knuckle lock. We could do Dory Dixon next. And Art Thomas on level 2 offense here. Sailor Art Thomas with a kick to the stomach. And Johnny Powers is dazed. And Art Thomas going to whip Powers into the turnbuckle. And Powers has a B turnbuckle rating, so that's a B7. We don't need the midget charts anymore. Let's put those up. Into the turnbuckle. Into the turnbuckle. There we go. Into the turnbuckle. And it is a B7. You are smashed by a big kick from the opponent. Opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So Sailor Art Thomas kicks Johnny Powers in the buckle. And Powers is in trouble as Thomas continues his attack. And Sailor Art Thomas with a Sailor Flip Slam. And this is a level 3 maneuver, and that's going to hurt Johnny Powers. And now Sailor Art Thomas with another kick to the stomach on Johnny Powers, leaving him dazed. And now Art Thomas with a boat whip on Johnny Powers. And that is going to lead to Johnny Powers taking control of the match as he counters the boat whip. And Powers is on the attack. And Johnny Powers with a front leg trip on Sailor Art Thomas. And Art Thomas is dazed. And now Johnny Powers goes for a clothesline. And he does not have the power to really connect solidly with Art Thomas, who just absorbs the clothesline and takes control of the match. And now Sailor Art Thomas with a headlock punch on Johnny Powers, and that's going to hurt Powers. Or no, daze Powers. Excuse me, reading the wrong level, which is a common occurrence here. And we've got an arm breaker, and this is a power move by Sailor Art Thomas, and he does have the power, so that is going to work. And that is going to be countered by Johnny Powers. And Johnny Powers taking over on level 2 here. And Johnny Powers with an abdominal stretch on Sailor Art Thomas. And Art Thomas is hurt. And now Johnny Powers coming back with a rolling leg twist on Art Thomas. And Thomas is dazed as he stands back up after his leg was twisted. And now Johnny Powers tries that clothesline once again as Thomas climbs back to his feet and just cannot really get the kind of connection you need to really damage somebody with a clothesline. And Art Thomas just absorbs it once again and takes control of the fight. And now Art Thomas grabs him in a full Nelson and slams him to the mat. And that is going to... No, Johnny Powers able to counter that. And Powers with a front leg trip on Sailor Art Thomas. That's going to hurt Sailor Art. And now, monkey flip by Johnny Powers. Sailor Art Thomas is hurt. And Johnny Powers just can't seem to get Art Thomas down. And Johnny Powers tries a double leg takedown. Doesn't get him down, but does manage to get him off balance. And Johnny Powers comes in again with a leg grapevine now. And Sailor Art Thomas just shoves him off. Says, nope, stop grabbing my leg. And Sailor Art Thomas on the attack on level 2 offense here. And Art Thomas with a Choice A power slam. So let's go to the Choice Situations chart. That's going to be in here somewhere. Here it is. Choice A is an into the ropes or a level 2 move on 7 or lower plus or minus power. So that would be a 5 or lower, and so he's going to throw him into the ropes, which is an A. So an A6 into the ropes. Let's see here. Into the ropes, A6. You come off the ropes with a powerful flying shoulder tackle. Roll on level 2 offense. So that is Johnny Powers blasting Art Thomas with a shoulder tackle. And Powers with a rolling leg twist once again on Sailor Art Thomas. And Art Thomas is hurt. And Powers on the attack here. Powers once again grabs an abdominal stretch on Sailor Art Thomas. Thomas is hurting. He's able to get to the ropes and break the hold. Oop, that was a 2. So that is a rolling leg twist. And Art Thomas is going to counter that. And Art Thomas on level 1. Art Thomas goes for a back trip on Johnny Powers. And Johnny Powers is hurt. And now once again, Art Thomas on the attack. And Art Thomas with that power slam. This is a choice A maneuver. We decided that the ropes is always going to be the better option here. So we're going to throw him into the ropes. And that's going to be an A5. The opponent gets into position for a back body drop, but you grab him and hit him with an awesome pile driver. Roll on level 3 offense. So there we go. Johnny Powers pile drives Sailor Art Thomas and is on level 3 offense here. What can he do? Johnny Powers not going to throw Art Thomas out of the ring. He's going to roll up. And now he's going to whip Art Thomas into the turnbuckle. And he's got a B turnbuckle rating, so that's going to be a B7. And into the turnbuckle is right here. B7. You are smashed with a big kick by the opponent. Opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So Powers comes in, puts the boot to Sailor Art, and is on level 2 here. And he's going to whip him into the turnbuckle again. And this is a B4 this time. You bounce forward off the turnbuckle and catch the charging opponent with a skull-splitting running lariat. He goes down hard. Opponent rolls on level 3 defense. So now Johnny Powers rolling on level 3 defense after eating that huge lariat by Sailor Art Thomas. And that's going to do it. Art Thomas going to cover Johnny Powers after that lariat. He's rolling his pin. He needs to avoid Snake Eyes here. And he does it. And now Art Thomas on level 3. And Art Thomas going to throw him out of the ring. And that's a B ring rating. So that's a B5 out of the ring. Let's see here. Out of the ring is on the back of the choice situations, if I remember right. Or death jump. On the back of the death jump. Let's bring this forward. And we've got a B5 out of the ring. The opponent comes out of the ring to continue the fight, but you grab him and smash him onto the announcer's table with an awesome specialty move. It's up to you which one. The referee may disqualify you. Roll DQ. If there's no disqualification, you toss the downed opponent back into the ring and go for the kill. So Art Thomas smashed into the ring post, or the announcer's table, not the ring post, by Johnny Powers. And Powers is going to roll his DQ, which is 4. He is not disqualified. And now Powers rolls Thomas back into the ring and is going for the kill here. And Johnny Powers not going to throw Thomas out of the ring. Choice G. That's going to be either a death jump or a... Let's see, G is a death jump or a move that... level 3 move that's going to work on 7 or lower plus or minus power. So that's a bad... Johnny Powers has got a crummy choice either way. Death jump A, that's what we're going for here. And that is an A6. Out of the ring has the death jump chart. A6. The opponent climbs to the top, but you recover and throw him off the turnbuckle and into the ring. He goes down hard. Roll on level 3 offense. So Sailor Art Thomas pitches Johnny Powers off the top rope and into the ring and is on the attack. And now Sailor Art Thomas has got a choice H. which is going to be a death jump or a level 3 move that's going to work on 7 plus or minus the agility. So we're going to go for the death jump there as well, which is an A. And that's going to be an A8. The opponent blasts you with a flying clothesline or some other awesome move. You are in trouble. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So Art Thomas comes off the top rope. We're going to say with a double axe handle on Johnny Powers. And puts Powers down. Art Thomas going to continue the attack. Thomas going to throw him out of the ring. And this is an A9, or a B9, excuse me. B9 out of the ring. In order to meet the referee's count, you crawl helplessly back into the ring. The opponent rolls on level 3 offense. So Powers in trouble still. And a big bear hug as Powers gets back in the ring. And Johnny Powers is hurt by Sailor Art Thomas's bear hug. And now Thomas with a big kick to the face. And that is going to hurt Johnny Powers as Sailor Art grabs him up with a full Nelson. Can he slam him down to the mat? He's trying hard. And he is not able to do it as Johnny Powers slips his arms out and is able to take control of the match. Johnny Powers locks Art Thomas in the abdominal stretch again, and this is going to hurt Sailor Art Thomas. Johnny Powers continues with that abdominal stretch, and Sailor Art Thomas continues to be hurt. And now Johnny Powers going to whip him into the ropes. And that is an A5 into the ropes. A5. The opponent gets into position for a back body drop, but you grab him and nail him with a pile driver. Roll on level 3 offense. So it worked for Powers once, and now it has worked for Art Thomas once. Johnny Powers telegraphs that backdrop. And Art Thomas nailed him with a powerful pile driver. And now Thomas going to the top rope. And that's going to be a A6. The opponent climbs to the top, but you recover and throw him off the turnbuckle and into the ring. He goes down hard. Roll on level 3 offense. So Johnny Powers catches Art Thomas, throws him into the ring, and now Johnny Powers is on the attack. And Powers nails Thomas with a flying dropkick, and that's going to put Art Thomas down. Can Powers capitalize? Neither one of these guys have been able to get off a really big move. And that's not going to change here as he nails him with another flying dropkick. And Art Thomas goes down again. Powers strongly in control here. And Powers grabs him with the Powers lock. And this is either a level 1 or a level 2 finisher. He needs to roll 1 die. It is even, so it's a level 1 finisher. So 3 or better for Sailor Art Thomas to break the power lock. And he gets it. And Powers on the attack. And Johnny Powers climbs to the top rope. And Art Thomas rolls a 10. So this is an A10. The opponent climbs to the top, but you recover and climb up. And a struggle takes place. If you have a better agility rating than the opponent, you win the struggle and superplex the opponent back into the ring. Roll on level 3 offense. If your agility rating is the same or worse than your opponent, he pushes you off the top rope and you fall hard to the mat. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. And Johnny Powers has the better agility, so he is going to shove Art Thomas back to the mat and roll on level 3 offense. And Johnny Powers going to go back up to the top rope, or stay on the top rope, and do another death jump roll. And Art Thomas with an A8. And Powers comes off the top rope blasting him with a flying elbow drop. And Sailor Art Thomas is in trouble. And now Johnny Powers gonna throw Art Thomas out of the ring. And Art Thomas with an 8, or with a B8. And that's not going to be good. He's going to just crawl back in just barely to meet the referee's count after being pitched out after that flying elbow drop. And Johnny Powers continues his assault here with a reverse body press on Art Thomas. And Thomas is being covered. He needs a 3 or better to kick out. There is no additional stuff on this. It is not a finisher. He is successfully able to kick out, and Powers continues his attack. And now Johnny Powers with a big back suplex on Art Thomas, and Art Thomas is hurt. These guys are just going at one another, but neither one of these guys seems to really be able to get the upper hand for very long. And Johnny Powers with a jumping elbow smash. And this is a death jump again. And so we're rolling the death jump. And this is an A7 death jump. And that is once again a successful death jump by Johnny Powers. We're going to say he hits him with a standing elbow smash off the top rope. And Johnny Powers is in solid control of this. And once again with that reverse body press. This time it can't keep him down as Art Thomas is able to push him off, but Thomas is hurt. And Johnny Powers with a double leg takedown on Art Thomas, but Thomas stuffs the takedown and is in control of the match again as Sailor Art Thomas kicks Johnny Powers right in the gut, and Powers is hurt. And now Sailor Art Thomas with a Sailor Flip Slam on Johnny Powers, and that's going to do it. Powers is covered by that. After that Sailor Flip Slam, he needs a 4 or better to kick out, and he gets it. And Johnny Powers in trouble now as Sailor Art Thomas continues to attack, and he's going to throw Johnny Powers from the ring, and a B5 out of the ring. The opponent comes out of the ring to continue the fight, but you grab him and smash him into the announce table. This is a DQ roll, and then if no DQ, Powers is going to take over on level 3 after knocking Thomas into the turnbuckle. And that does it. Johnny Powers is disqualified. So the referee let it go once, but Powers went back to it too many times, and Art Thomas manages to win by DQ after Johnny Powers smashes him into the announcer's table for a second time. And so now, I said after this match we're going to go into the thing, and I'm going to get out all the cards that are going to be in the upcoming bootleg set that I am doing. There are 6 cards in this set. 3 of them have already been announced, but we'll... And let me sort these out so that they're... I'm going to go over the guys that have already been announced first, and then we will do the new ones. Alright, so all 6 cards are out of the binder here. And the first card that I announced was Dale Lewis, Professor Dale Lewis, who is a gold medalist in the Pan American Games Greco-Roman Wrestling. He is a 2-time Olympian. He came in, he won several major titles, never a world champion, but always a top-of-the-card kind of guy. The card is actually modeled after his time in Southeastern. Ron Fuller had him come in right after he purchased the territory, and he used to do like a fan challenge thing where if the fan could pin him or stay in the ring with him for more than a certain amount of time, 5, 10, 15 minutes, I can't remember which, he would win, $500. I think the amount changed based on who was doing the challenge, sort of thing. But I think for Dale Lewis, it was $100 fan challenge. And so Dale Lewis has a special mechanic. If you could see, some of his stats are in bold. I know that might be a little hard to read if you're not on full screen. But if you're on bold, or if you're on full screen, you can see that some of his stats are bolded. Those are the stats you would use if he is in a fans challenge match. So he gets a major advantage in those. And to take on Dale Lewis in the fans challenge match, here is Random Fan. Random Fan is straight out of the audience. He is 5'9", 165 pounds. He's got a pin rating of 9.6. He's not a jobber. He's not there to enhance your talent, so he doesn't have the jobber stat. If you do a finisher, he's not automatically pinned. He's just got a really high pin rating. He's got a -1 finisher, which is a new mechanic that I think he is the only card to have a negative finisher rating. Basically, you subtract 1 from the target instead of adding when the finisher happens. So it's actually harder for him to get a pin because he's not trained. And he's also got a unique on his level 1 offense, roll 6. He's got a go behind trip that's 3 agility and power. So he has to pass both agility and power for that move to succeed. So yeah, he's there to get his ass handed to him, but he's not he's not set up to be like a complete jobber. So yeah, Random Fan will be a lot of fun for the smaller fed, says Jay Irish. I agree. I think it's a cool thing, and I mean, you don't have to just use him with Dale Lewis. You can use him, Bob Roop. Maybe he brings back his Sugar Hold Challenge. Bob Roop is a card that we have. But yeah, you could do a lot of things with him. Warner, when I showed these off to Warner, because I gave him like the PDF of the set, he was like, "Is Random Fan just some fan illegally hitting the ring?" And I was like, "Well, he wasn't designed that way, but he could be. It's up to you, promoter." And so yeah, you could use the Random Fan as somebody running in from the crowd, just totally unexpectedly, however you want to do it. And then the last previously announced guy was Joe Malshewitz. Joe Malshewitz was a major name in San Francisco before Roy Shire took over. He ran NWA San Francisco. He is a 3-time world heavyweight champion, so definitely a kind of a forgotten name as far as major players in the wrestling business. He was active in the 1910s all the way through the 1930s, so that probably explains a little bit about why he is not well known these days. No footage of him exists. Most of the research I did to get moves and to get information was from Rock Rims. He features heavily in about the first 4 or 5 chapters of Rock Rims' When It Was Big Time book about the history of Northern California wrestling. And then Slam Wrestling, I think, with Greg Oliver, did a fairly decent piece on him as well. So you can go ahead and Google that and read all about him. A lot of times he won the world title and then had it like kind of clawed back for whatever reason. Either the promoters wanted to put it on a more popular guy, or some technicality would be used to say, oh well, even though he won, we're not gonna recognize him as the champion. So that's kind of unfortunate for him. Most of his reigns were kind of short and clawed back. But if you're familiar with Joe Stecker, and I think most of us are at least familiar with the name, Stecker was a legitimate hooker in the 1910s and 20s. in about 1925, Malshewitz was scheduled to face Joe Stecher for the world title. And Malshewitz took one look, or Stecher took one look at Malshewitz and said, I'm not fighting him. I can't beat him legitimately. And I think I'm going to get double-crossed here. And so Stecher retreated to the back and basically wouldn't wrestle the match unless the promoters paid him an additional $10,000. And Joe Stecher is, for all intents and purposes, probably one of the most well-regarded like hookers that's ever existed in the business. And Malshewitz scared the crap out of him. So Malshewitz is a very legitimate dude. And I think he'll be a blast to have in your feds if you're into like sort of the early wrestling. He's definitely sort of in that unknown territory, but hopefully you guys do some research, look him up, and are as excited to have him as I am. I think he's a really cool ad. The next ad is a member of the Tragos Thez Hall of Fame who does not yet have a card, and that is Dr. Bill Miller. Dr. Bill Miller is a NCAA champion. He was All-American wrestler, a Big Ten champion, very legitimate amateur wrestler. Started in in the early 50s, won a couple of world titles, mostly for AWA, won a world title in Japan, was a pretty feared guy. He is a legitimate doctor. He's a veterinarian, so he's Dr. Bill Miller, or Dr. Big Bill Miller, as he was sometimes referred to, which is a little weird, because Dr. Big just makes him sound kind of weird and corny. But he's a 5'2". He's got a backbreaker, which is a level 0 finisher, or a bear hug, which is a level 0 finisher, and a backbreaker, which is a +2 finisher. So he's meant to basically kind of be in your upper card picture, possibly a world champion, but not a shoe-in for world champion. Definitely meant to headline your promotions, no matter where they were. He was a frequent opponent of Bruno and Thez, and there's a story about him and Karl Gotch basically cornering Buddy Rogers when Rogers was the world champion, and breaking his arm because Rogers refused to defend the title outside of the Northeast. It's that Bill Miller. He wrestled as Mr. M or Dr. M in Minnesota and was responsible for unmasking the only time that Dick Beyer was ever unmasked. He was wrestling as Dr. X in the AWA. Bill Miller had the honor of unmasking him. So that's Dr. Big Bill Miller, who I think is a fantastic ad. He worked some bruiser shows in the early 70s. Yeah, I mean, he's from the Ohio area. So, Ohio, Chicago, Indiana. I could see him working in that area towards the end of his career. So, and next is Ron Wright from the East Tennessee territory. You could stick him in there with Sputnik. You could stick him in there with Billy Wicks. You could stick him in there with several bootlegs that we have around. Ron Fuller. We have a nice bootleg of Ron Fuller if you're a part of PDF Prime. But yeah, so Ron Wright here. And Wright is super legendary in the East Tennessee area, in Knoxville, in Kingsport, in Johnson City. In that area, I mean, he is just, super well renowned to people who were into wrestling in the 60s and 70s. Really, I mean, most of us probably know him from when he was a little older and he worked for Cornette and Smoky Mountain as a manager. But, he definitely had a streak in the 70s in the 60s and 70s in Tennessee, where he was one of the most hated and villainous wrestlers around. And so Ron Wright, he's got a 6'3" pin rating, which drops to 3-0 in chain matches. Him and Whitey Caldwell, who is not part of this set, were pretty famous for their chain matches. So I went ahead and gave him some better stats in chain matches. Wright has 2 finishers. He's got a sleeper hold, which is a 0 finisher. And then he's got his chisel attack, which is a +2, but it also has a disqualification of 5. So, Wright, if he uses that chisel attack, he could be disqualified. He's also got a special mechanic on his level 2 offensive move. His 6 move, which is a hardway punch, which is a level 3 move. And it says if hardway punch results in a down 3, opponent is busted open, opponent adds 1 fatigue token. So it literally is a hardway punch. It will cause blood, and it will cause a +1, but only in the instance that they roll a down 3. So not an automatic +1. I think that would have made him a little too strong. So Ron Wright, he's sort of meant to be a headliner in a smaller fed, or sort of your mid-card guy. And so that is Ron Wright. And the final card goes well with Dr. Bill Miller. If you're familiar with Bill Miller's run in the Northeast, you'll know he was managed by Bobby Davis. And Pop's Reviews, I saw him pop in. He won a Bobby Davis card. It's the same artwork, except for the background, but the chart has been totally redone. Bobby Davis has a new chart here. I think it plays better than the old Bobby Davis card that I did with this artwork. Davis has a distractor rating of 7, and he's got a special thing where he can roll twice on his own chart on the back of his card, or he can roll once on the regular chart and once on this chart. He's got some interesting mechanics on his chart. I won't go into them and spoil them, but Bobby Davis is the final card in the set. Davis managed, like I said, he managed Bill Miller. He managed Buddy Rogers. He managed Don Fargo, who I've done a free bootleg of. But yeah, he was a big deal manager in the 50s and 60s in the Northeast. He got into The Office in the Northeast. Did a lot of work with Vince Sr. and I think even Vince Sr.'s father, maybe. But yeah, so Bobby Davis is there. He is a fantastic manager. Distractor rating of 7. Some cool stuff on his new chart, and he will definitely bring an advantage to whoever faces him. And so those are the 6 cards that are going to be part of the upcoming bootleg set that I'm doing. I'm also including a digital booklet that has information on all the guys. So that will be an interesting thing. Yeah, I was going to do a Bill Miller match with Bobby Davis as the manager. We could do Bill Miller versus Moose Cholak. That would be fine. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I've got going on bootleg-wise. I'm thinking the sets will be they're going to be about the same amount of money as, even though they're 2 cards less. The 2 cards is not, it would only drop the price by about $1. So they're going to be about $25 for a print version. I am also going to offer these in PDF for about $20, so it'll be about $5 cheaper if you want to print it yourself and get them in PDF. I'm also announcing now that I'm going to do a PDF version of my Arena set. If you didn't get that, it will be offered only in PDF. I'm not doing more print versions of it. If you got a print version, then awesome. You've got, I'm not doing more of those. You've got the only ones. I'm not going back on the fact that I'm not reprinting them. I'm just going to allow people to purchase it via PDF. It will be the same price as the PDF of this set, so about $20. I may do like a $5 off thing if you buy both PDFs together for like $35. I don't know yet. But anyway, so that's what's going on. I'll have a post up both in all three places: the Facebook page, the Discord, and on the official forums, either later today or tomorrow with more order information. You guys are just getting the inside scoop, the pre-order stuff. They're not up for order yet. When I do put them up for order, I will probably take orders for the print sets for about 2 weeks. I want to ship them before Christmas. You probably won't get them before Christmas, but I do want to ship them before Christmas. So yeah. So yeah, that's what we got going on with that. And I am going to leave Bobby Davis out with Bill Miller. We're going to do those. And then I want to do a Ron Wright match. So those are the two that you're going to see today. We didn't cover Joe Malswich's back here. He is a 5'2". He's got a 3-add-1 on his level 3 offense on his roll of 5. And he's got a Flying Scissor Hold +2 finisher. So he's a fairly powerful card. Not overwhelming. Like I said, he's supposed to be in the main event. So that's where we kind of wanted to keep him. The cards have been play tested pretty heavily by me. I've done a lot of matches with them. So J. Irish is heading out. You check the rest on replay. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you later. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to do a Ron Wright match later. We'll do the Bill Miller match now. So we've got Dr. Bill Miller. He is 6'6", weighing in at 290 pounds, from Fremont, Ohio. Here is Dr. Bill Miller. And he is accompanied by his manager, Bobby Davis. And so we'll go ahead and get that set up. Miller is a 5'2". And Davis has a distractor and an interference. And Moose Cholak was suggested for the opponent of Bill Miller. So let me grab Sam's Moose Cholak card. Just gotta find it here. Here is Moose Cholak. He does not want to come out. There we go. So we've got Bill Miller versus Moose Cholak. Let's do the intro for Moose Cholak. On his way to the ring, standing 6 feet 4 inches tall and weighing in at 350 pounds, from Moosehead, Maine. Here is Yukon Moose Cholak. And so Cholak and Bill Miller gonna go at it. Let's flip him over and get started here. He's a 6'3". Miller's a 5'2". Miller does have the services of the manager of champions, Bobby Davis. So a definite advantage there. And we're rolling for initiative. And they lock up, and Dr. Bill Miller gets the initiative here. And Dr. Bill Miller now with a takedown and standing leg lock, and Cholak is down. So that leg lock takes him down, puts Moose Cholak on his back. Dr. Bill Miller really in a good way here. Bill Miller grabs him up and hits him with a power body slam, and that's going to hurt Yukon Moose. And Yukon Moose Cholak grabbed by Bill Miller, and he takes him over with a fireman's carry. And Moose Cholak going to pop right back up after that fireman's carry. That didn't really do a whole lot of damage as Cholak takes over on level 1 offense. And Cholak going to throw Bill Miller into the turnbuckle. Miller has an A turnbuckle rating, but rolls a 10, so that's not too good. And an A10. And you are smashed by a big kick from the opponent. Opponent rolls on level 2 offense. So Moose Cholak puts the boots to Bill Miller in the corner. And now Yukon Moose with another kick to the midsection as Miller leaves the corner. And Bill Miller catches this one and shoves him back. And Dr. Bill Miller on the attack here. Bill Miller with a go-behind takedown. This is an agility move. They are tied for agility with +1. And so that is going to work. And the go-behind takedown on Yukon Moose Cholak. And that is going to be countered by Moose Cholak, who is going to take over the fight on level 1 offense. And Yukon Moose rolls a bear hug, which is a choice D maneuver. And that's going to either be a level 2 move that's going to work on 8 plus or minus agility, or a level 3 move, 8 plus or minus power. So we're going to do the agility, which is a level 2, which will be 9 or less. So successful on a roll of 9 or less, he gets it. And Bill Miller rolling on level 2. And Miller is hurt. And Yukon Moose Cholak now with a raging Moose corner smash on Dr. Big Bill Miller. And Miller, with a hurt 2 roll, is feeling the effects. And now, with another boot to the midsection by Yukon Moose Cholak, Bill Miller is hurt. And now, Cholak grabs the arm of Miller and tries to slap him in an armbar. And Bill Miller feeling the effects of the armbar here, as Yukon Moose Cholak attempts a step over toe hold. And this is a choice F maneuver. So we've got, this is going to be a level 2 move. It's going to work on 6 plus or minus agility, or a level 3 move, 6 plus or minus power. So we're going to try the level 3 move, which is going to be a 7 or better, or 7 or less. And that is successful, and Bill Miller rolling level 3 here. And Miller is hurt. And now, Yukon Moose Cholak. He's got the armbar on Dr. Big Bill Miller. And Miller is hurt. Can't take Miller down. And now, Moose Cholak puts him in the corner and rages in there with a Raging Moose corner smash. And this is going to hurt Bill Miller as well. Still can't get Bill Miller down. And Dr. Bill Miller in trouble here, as he crushes him with another Raging Moose corner smash, hurting Dr. Bill Miller. And Moose Cholak tries it once again. The Raging Moose corner smash for a 3rd time. Will that put Bill Miller down? No, it won't. Miller is still hurt in the corner. And now, Moose Cholak with a headlock chokehold on Bill Miller. So Cholak getting a little dirty here. And Bill Miller is hurt. And now Yukon Moose gonna whip Bill Miller into the ropes. Miller has a B ropes rating, and that is a B6 into the ropes. The opponent drops down, and you go into the ropes again. Roll on this chart. So Miller re-rolling, and that is a B10. The opponent tries a running clothesline, but so do you. The result is a double clothesline, and both of you go down. The wrestler with the better ropes rating recovers first and rolls on level 3 offense. And that's going to be Yukon Moose Cholak. So Cholak on level 3 here. And Yukon Moose Cholak with a Moose Stampede on Dr. Big Bill Miller. And he's got a hurt too. And Cholak just can't keep him down. And Cholak once again with a Raging Moose corner smash. He just keeps going back to that move. And this one might be successful as he rolls his pin. And so after the after the Raging Moose corner smash, Bill Miller is down and covered by Moose Cholak. He just needs to avoid Snake Eyes. And he just barely does it, as Bill Miller kicks out at 2.9. And Cholak on the attack again. And Moose Cholak with a leg dive takedown. And Dr. Big Bill Miller avoids that and takes control of the match. And Bill Miller going to whip Cholak into the ropes. And I drop the dice again. And Cholak goes into the ropes. He's got an A6 into the ropes. And you come off the ropes with a powerful flying shoulder tackle. Roll on level 2 offense. So Cholak takes control again. And Moose Cholak hits the Raging Moose corner splash once again. And that hurts Dr. Big Bill Miller once again. And now we've got the headlock chokehold on Dr. Big Bill Miller. And that's got him hurt. As Moose Cholak once again grabs him with a step over toe hold. This is a choice F maneuver. I think we have done this before. It is a 2. It's going to work on 6 plus or minus agility, or a 3, 6 plus or minus power. So level 2 move on 7 or less. And he just barely gets it, but it is successful. And Bill Miller is hurt. And Bobby Davis getting a little worked up here that his man can't get control of this match. And now Moose Cholak grabs the arm, locks it in an armbar. And Bill Miller is really hurt as Moose Cholak rides that armbar all the way to the ground, finally has Bill Miller down. And Moose Cholak lets him back up and tries to leg dive him, which is not a great thing to do to such an accomplished amateur wrestler, as Bill Miller counters it on level 2. And now Bill Miller grabs Moose Cholak with a hammerlock, but Moose Cholak powers his way out of that and is in control on level 1. And Cholak going to throw Big Bill Miller into the turnbuckle. Here is an A8 turnbuckle. So let's see, what is the turnbuckle? A8. And this is a big kick from Moose Cholak to Dr. Big Bill Miller. And now Cholak with a step over toe hold, the choice F. This is the 7 or less. And he gets it. And Big Bill Miller rolling on level 2. And Miller is down. So that toe hold really putting the squeeze on Dr. Big Bill Miller. And Cholak rolling on level 3 here with a front face drag on Dr. Big Bill Miller. And Miller's down. Miller's going to leave the ring, though. And an A5 out of the ring. The opponent comes out of the ring and a wild brawl erupts. Both wrestlers roll disqualification. If nobody is DQ'd, roll 1 die to see who wins the brawl and rolls on level 3 offense. So we've got Bill Miller rolling his DQ of 5. He is disqualified. I'm going to allow Bobby Davis to maybe try to distract the referee on that roll. And so he needs 7 or less. And he is successful. So Bill Miller not disqualified. Davis used up a distractor. And Moose Cholak disqualification of 5. He is not disqualified. And on an odd roll, I believe that is the opponent wins. So Moose Cholak on level 3. And now Cholak going to throw him out of the ring again. And we have the handy chart that I helped Dave Little format. Dave Little came up with all of the information. I just formatted it for him. So we got the out of the ring again chart. And let's see what happens. And on a roll of 7, play as normal. Standard out of the ring chart. Cool. So there we go. Put that there. So we're rolling on the out of the ring chart. Bill Miller has an A rating, and an A6 is... The opponent comes out of the ring to continue the fight, but you grab him and smash him onto the announcer's table with an awesome specialty move. The referee may disqualify you, so roll DQ. And he is not disqualified. And so Bill Miller throws Moose Cholak back into the ring. And we are going to see Bill Miller on level 3. And Miller grabs Cholak, brings him up over his shoulder, and locks him in that backbreaker. That is a +2 finisher. So Moose Cholak needs to roll 6 or better to escape. And with a roll of 11, he is successful. And Bill Miller continues the attack. Miller grabs him up in the bear hug. This is a level 0 finisher. So now he needs 5 or better to kick out. And he just barely gets it. Bill Miller on the attack here. And Miller with an out of the ring on Yukon Moose Cholak. This is a choice. He's going to roll up. And a forearm strike on Yukon Moose. And this is going to put Yukon Moose Cholak down. And Bill Miller rolling on level 3 again. Bill Miller with a suplex assortment. This is a choice G maneuver. So that's going to be either a death jump, which is a C. So that's probably what's going to happen. Or a power, yeah. Not rolling against Moose Cholak's power. So death jump by Bill Miller. Miller not renowned for going off the top rope here. But, oof. Yukon Moose rolls a 12. So let's find the death jump chart. C12. You stumble to your feet and the opponent comes off the top rope with a perfect cross body block and covers you. Roll your pin. So 6 or better to kick out for Moose Cholak. And with a roll of 12, he gets it. And Bill Miller still on the attack. And Bill Miller grabs him up in that backbreaker again. This is a level 2 finisher. So Moose Cholak needs a 9 or better to kick out. And with a roll of 6, he is unsuccessful. And your winner is Yukon Moose Cholak. Your winner is Dr. Big Bill Miller. I don't know why I said Yukon Moose. Probably because I was rolling him over. And by proxy, Bobby Davis gets a win as well. And so, with that, that is the end of Dr. Big Bill Miller and Moose Cholak. And we're going to move into Ron Wright. So we're going to have Ron Wright on his way to the ring, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing in at 231 pounds from Kingsport, Tennessee. He is Ron Wright. And so Ron Wright going to be in this match. Who should Ron Wright face? Any suggestions for Ron Wright's opponent? We'll wait a few minutes for people to respond. Basically anyone you might want to see face off against Ron Wright. Could be maybe another dastardly heel, maybe Buddy O'Brien, maybe Danny McShane, Dirty Dick Reigns. Maybe you do an official card, maybe Billy Wicks. Whipper Watson, first one. So we'll go with Whipper Billy Watson. I believe I've got him in the first binder. Let's go here. Billy Watson. Bobby McShane. And is he in the first binder here? I am not seeing him in here. Now we're into C, so maybe he's in the other binder. Let's take a quick look. I had them all alphabetized at one point to make this easier on myself, but he may actually be in my tubs of cards here. Let's see. And we're going for B for Billy Watson. I don't think he's debuted yet, but he still might be up towards the top. Monkeys. I know I've got a Billy Watson in here somewhere. There's Billy Wicks. There he is. Whipper Billy Watson. Okay. And his opponent, on the way to the ring, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing in at 224 pounds. From East York, Ontario, Canada, here is Whipper Billy Watson. And Billy Watson will be in the blue corner. Ron Wright in the red corner. And we'll go ahead and do that. And Watson is a 4-1. Wright is a 6-3, since this is not a chain match. And we'll go ahead and roll for initiative. And Whipper Billy Watson takes control of the match off of the lockup here. And now Watson with a double leg takedown. This is a power mover, and that is going to work. And Ron Wright is hurt. And now Whipper Billy Watson with a strangler's headlock on Ron Wright. And that is going to... No, Wright's going to slip out. And Ron Wright on the attack now. And Ron Wright with a kick to the midsection on Whipper Billy Watson. And that's going to hurt Billy Watson. And Wright with a front face lock takedown. And this is a choice B maneuver. Let's go to our choice situations. That's either going to be a turnbuckle of A or an agility move, a level 2 agility. We're going to go for the turnbuckle. And 7 is what Billy Watson rolls on his A. And so let's see, into the turnbuckle. And he's an A7. And so he reverses it and throws Ron Wright into the turnbuckle. Wright is also an A turnbuckle rating. And he rolls a 6. So we've got an A6. You lift a knee into the oncoming opponent's head. He is hurt. Roll on level 2 offense. So Ron Wright crushes Watson with a knee as Watson tries to rush in to continue the attack. And now Ron Wright gonna whip Watson into the ropes. Watson has an A ropes rating. That's an A4, so that's gonna be pretty good for him. And this is a big pile driver from Billy Watson onto Ron Wright as Wright telegraphed his backdrop. And Billy Watson not gonna whip Ron Wright out of the ring. Gonna roll up, and he rolls a hip lock and toss on Ron Wright. And Ron Wright is down. So that hip lock really took Wright over, planted Wright right in the mat. And Billy Watson with the CCU hold. This is a +2 finisher. So now Ron Wright needs a 6 or better to kick out. And he just barely gets it. So Ron Wright still alive, but Watson has him in trouble. And now Billy Watson not going to throw Wright out of the ring, so he's going to roll up again. And he rolls a Chancery takedown. This is a choice C maneuver. So let's see what we got here. This could be a level 3 move on agility, yeah, that's what we're going to do, because he's got a +2 agility. Wright is not the most agile man in the world. So this is going to work on 8 or lower. And it works. So now Ron Wright rolling on level 3 here. And Ron Wright is down. Whipper Billy Watson has him in trouble, really taking the control of the match. Watson with a Greco-Roman backdrop, and that's going to put Wright down again, but Wright is going to roll out of the ring. And Wright rolls a 2 out of the ring A. So that's a very good roll for Wright. Here we go, out of the ring, A2. You grab the opponent by the leg, drag him out of the ring, and smash him into the ring post. Roll on level 3 offense, so Billy Watson gets posted by Ron Wright, and Wright is on level 3 now. And Wright throws him back into the ring and grabs a sleeper hold on Billy Watson. Watson can't submit to this because it's a level 0 and he's only a 1. So Watson takes the fatigue, and he manages to grab the ropes. And now Ron Wright. He's going to throw Billy Watson out of the ring, and Watson rolls a B7. In order to meet the referee's count, you crawl helplessly back into the ring. So Ron Wright still on level 3 here. And Ron Wright grabs the sleeper again, and this time he needs to avoid Snake Eyes. And he does it as Ron Wright continues his vicious attack of Whipper Billy Watson. And Wright has Watson down, and he just stomps the crap out of him and begins to choke Billy Watson. And Watson pries the hands off the throat, pushes Wright over, and stands right back up. Whipper Billy Watson is upset. He does not like being manhandled and cheated. And now Watson goes right back to a top wrist lock on Ron Wright. Let's see if that'll work on him. And it will. Wright is dazed by the top wrist lock by Billy Watson. Now Watson attempts a double leg, and that is going to work. He does have the power advantage. And Wright is hurt. So Billy Watson continuing his comeback here with a Chancery takedown. This is a Choice C maneuver. So let's see. Choice C. Yeah, that's going to be that agility move again. Level 3, it's going to work on, 8 or less. So let's give it a whirl here. And that's going to work. So Ron Wright rolling on level 3 here. And Wright is down, but he is close enough to the ropes that he's going to roll out. And now Ron Wright with an A4 out of the ring. And that's the same thing. He once again grabs Billy Watson, drags Watson out of the ring, slams his head into the ring post, and rolls him back in. And now, Ron Wright climbing to the top rope. He's going to attempt something off the top. This is not usually Wright's forte. And Billy Watson rolls an B8 death jump. And Ron Wright is successful, though. Wright climbs up to the second rope, comes off with a double sledge on Billy Watson. And then Wright with the chisel. He gets the chisel out. Wright is attacking Billy Watson with the chisel. This is a disqualification move. So he's got to roll better than a 5 here. And he does. And this is a level 2 finisher. So Watson needs to roll 6 or better to kick out. And Watson does it. And Wright with the chisel on Billy Watson. And Wright going right back to the chisel. The referee is going to call this one as Wright continues to try to chisel Billy Watson's face off. And Billy Watson is your winner, but certainly not better for the match, as Wright continues to attack with the chisel. And Billy Watson, even though he won, has definitely seen better days, bleeding everywhere as Wright just chiseled his face off. And that was a brutal, brutal match for Billy Watson. And that's going to do it for us, I think. We did, 4 matches and the reveal. And I think this has been going for over an hour, an hour and a half now. So I think I'm going to call this today. Thank you all for joining me. Jeff Stafford, Neil Lau, Jay Irish, who was here earlier but had to step out. Pops Reviews. Alex Vidales. Thomas Morgan was here earlier. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Mark Ferguson as well. Thank you guys for joining me on this Saturday morning. I will try to get some information about how to order the setup, like I said, either today or tomorrow. And we'll probably be back tomorrow with NWC, the National Wrestling Commission universe that I run. I'll probably be back with a card from that. This was really just about announcing the set, so. All right, well, that's it for us. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope you all have a good